No, we've not run out of ideas at all. In fact, actually what we started is a consultation where we're going to speak to as many residents and business and visitors to Bath as possible about a range of ideas and solutions so that we can actually develop a transport strategy for Bath that has got a sort of a 25-year time span for implementing, so that people can see that we've got some ideas, we've got some solutions, we're looking at the problems, we're working out how we come up with ideas for that, and that would be then a strategy for Bath that would be a long time in implementing, because these things are not cheap. But also, if we've got a plan that goes over a period, then we get out of this cycle of perpetual argument about every single individual solution. So you can go back. At the last election was fought over. One of the big issues was the park and ride in the meadows at Bathampton, and the 2-lane highway through the back gardens of Newbridge, which the previous administration was proposing and which we objected to.
Councillor Crossley, sorry to interrupt you here, but there is another reading of this consultation, you see, that people might say, well, you know, you can't seem to get it right, and you have been trying for years to sort this issue out, that a consultation is really, we've run out of ideas. Have you got any suggestions to make, good people of Bath?
It's partly that, but we've also put in some ideas of our own. Our solution for the East of Bath Park and Ride is this very ambitious rail and ride option between the two railway lines. So we've been working with the DFT, we've been working with the highways agencies, we've been working with Network Rail on how that could do. So that would be a solution that would help the London Road, would help traffic coming into Bath and give people guaranteed journey times. And there's a number of other ideas that we're talking about. But every time that you look at how you use space, you've got a lot of competing users, and that's why these debates are so passionately held. We've got limited space because we're an old city that was built and designed before motor cars. So we don't have wide roads, which we've got multiple options to. We have narrow roads.
But there are a lot of motorists out there with a grin on their faces today, thinking that in the battle with B&NES, the motorist is winning.
B&NES is not against cars, so that's first of all, that's a misconception. What we're looking to do is, and you've mentioned Dorchester Street, what we were looking to do with that experiment was to find out is if we took out a number of cars, did the experience for pedestrians improve, and did the experience for bus passengers improve? Did buses get out on time? So we've been collecting data over the last 4 months about the impact, and we've been seeing the effect of reducing car numbers. However, it's quite clear that we did get the signage inadequate on that, because so many people went down it the wrong way, which is why we've ended the experiment, because we've got the data, and it's why we are returning the fines. One
sign just saying Busgate, you go through £60 fine, surely that would have done it.
We have to put signs up that are legal and are recognised. If you look at the highway code, you'll find that there's a set of signs which have different meanings, and those signs are actually very similar across Europe, so that people driving around Europe understand the signs because they're similar from country to country, and they have similar meanings. So we have to put up signs that are legal from a highways and transport viewpoint. What we should have done is put up other signs, such as perhaps the one that you suggested, giving people more advance warning and being more clear about it. From my point of view, I think the mistake we had was calling it Dorchester Street, because a lot of the people driving down there, particularly visitors, wouldn't have known that it was Dorchester Street. So I think that signage is a big lesson we've learned from this experiment.
Do you think the local authority feels humbled by all of this? I mean, do you feel thwarted?
No, I don't feel thwarted. It was an experiment. It was a temporary order to see what the consequences were. And there is good reason for trying things out, particularly if it's a complicated thing, because you need to see what the effects are of a closure, a change of road use. So, sometimes experiments are a good idea.
But your transport strategy still sets out its aims as reducing the number of HGVs passing through Bath, of reducing the number of cars coming into the city. There's nothing new in that. That's what you've been saying for years and haven't been able to do.
But it's how we implement that. So we've expanded our 3 park and rides on 3 sides of Bath. What is quite clear, and I think what everyone agrees, is we do need a park and ride to the east of Bath. The problem is that it's the location of the park and ride that has been the argument that has bedeviled all administrations, and it goes back to the Bath City Council days. It's the location. Everyone will say, yes, we want an east of Bath park and ride, but it's when you come to the location that you find that the location is always the difficult part of it, which is why we think that our idea of putting it in between the 2 railway lines, where it'll be largely hidden because the railway lines are built up and on embankments, will be a successful option. And it gives us a turnaround hub for the new Metro West, which is new. The Metro West is coming, and that's going to connect Bath with Portishead, with Avonmouth, with the city centre of Bristol, perhaps with Saltford, but certainly a number of stations and stops are going to be on this new Metro West. So you'll be able to go from Bath to Cribbs Causeway, Bath to Ewey, Bath to Portishead, and a range of stops. What you need for a metro is a turnaround point, because trains just can't hop from one line to another. So we think that putting a big park and ride, a rail and ride at the rail junction, gives you a place where you can also put in that turnaround point.
So you are still confident, after all that's happened and after all that's failed, that you can still sort this issue out? Traffic, Bath, heritage.
Yes, we're confident there are solutions, and already people are coming up with lots of good ideas. So more bike racks on the back of buses. We've done a lot of research into this, and what we all knew that a lot of people walk to work in Bath. So that was something we all knew. But what we didn't know was it was quite as high a percentage as we found out from the data. And there's a very large number of people walk to work in Bath. So therefore, to me, one of the lessons to do that is to make that walking experience better, and then we'll get more people walking for Bath. So people are walking to work, they're not driving to work.